A friend of mine invited me to read the book American Gods by Neil Gaiman as a part of her book club. And I was really excited to join the book club. I did one a long time ago and just hadn't really had the time to do it. And I was going on vacation, so I thought, I'm going to have plenty of time to read this book. And I'm really glad that I did. It was one of those books that makes you pause and think about different things in the book. You have an insight and your brain kind of ruminates on it, and you might go down a rabbit hole and you're excited about that rabbit hole, and then you come back out of it and you go back to the book. I really wish that I had written down some of my insights that I was having when I read this book, because I know that when I go back and read it, I won't have the same insights because I'll be in a different place. And yet some of these insights were so, in the moment, they felt huge and like life-altering. And this is one of them, and I was really excited about it. Between sessions of reading this book and enjoying that, life would happen because I was on vacation and my husband and I would go and do things, and it was really, really great. And at one point, my husband and I had a conversation, and we had a little bit of a differing of opinions, and we both ended it very like, okay, cool. So that was your opinion and this is my opinion, and we move on. And there wasn't anything big deal about it. And I went back to reading my book. But as I was reading my book, I was still a little bit irritated about our conversation, and went to bed that night, got up the next morning, was reading the book, and I still had that niggling. I wasn't above a 3. I say that if you're above a 3, the problem was with you and you need to fix it. Like, you need to change it. You need to do something with yourself and understand why you're up there. I wasn't there. I was at a 1, and I was just like, why am I at a 1? Why am I still slightly unhappy with that encounter? And what can I do about it? So in a previous relationship, in my first marriage, when there would be one of these differing things, it was never a calm, relaxed conversation. We would always fight and argue because we didn't know how to communicate. And I would give the silent treatment for a couple days until I could brush it under the rug and forget that it was an issue, until it would rear its ugly head the next time. With Jay, we've both learned how to communicate, and we've both learned how to work things out, and we've both learned how to understand ourselves better so that we can help other people understand us better. So I felt understood. We had used our tools. We had communicated. I was still upset. And this question came in through the book. And the question was, what am I gaining in holding on to this tiny little niggling upset, this little frustration? What am I gaining? What is the benefit of holding on to any kind of unhappiness in that? And it was a really interesting thing. So I sat down and I thought about it for a little while. What am I really, really gaining from doing this? And I sat down and I talked with Jay about it. I said, yesterday we had that conversation and I was still a little bit frustrated from the conversation. And then I had this insight from the book and I thought, well, what am I gaining from that? And he was intrigued too. He thought, well, I want to know. I love the insight and I really love the question. So I want to know, what are you gaining from it? And I could not come up with a single positive thing. In holding on to my one little tiny number 1 of being upset about that conversation, there was nothing positive for me. I knew that because I was holding on to it, that there was still a little bit of dirt between my husband and I, which meant that there was a little bit less joy. There was a little cloud above my head, and I was robbing myself of really just being present and soaking in the beauty of the moment, in realizing and understanding that there was absolutely nothing that I was gaining. I was robbing myself of joy. I was robbing myself of a closer connection with Jay and just being able to be present in that moment. I just let it go. I took that little number 1, whatever that upset was, I took it out of my heart and I put it into a bubble and I let it float off because I wanted to enjoy the moment and there was no reason to hold on to that upset. So my question to you is, in your upset, If you've already communicated with somebody and you felt understood and you're still holding on to that upset, what are you gaining by holding on? What are you gaining by keeping that little nugget of irritation? Because if it's not a positive thing, then why do you want to keep it? If it's just your ego saying, I've got to be better, why not get rid of it? When you're driving down the freeway and somebody pulls over into your lane pretty sharply and you really want to be pissed off and angry at them, how long do you want to hold on to that? And is it really benefiting you to stay angry at them? Do they even feel your anger? Because realistically, they don't care. They're long gone. And it's only going to affect you. So what are you gaining? This is my question as you're moving forward. The next time that you have to work some challenging thing out, and when you're done with it, and there's still that tiny little seed of frustration, ask yourself, what am I gaining? And if there is nothing positive, and you are able to take it out, however that works, whether you put it in a bubble or you flame it up and you just get rid of it, you burn it to ash, however that works for you, I encourage you to let it go. Clear your heart space of that negativity and just open it up for love and joy.